Hello, this is Salman Galoom, candidate number 202645. Today I'll be speaking about an ethical problem. So, is it ethical to build a building or produce a product that could harm the environment in a direct or indirect way? So, is it ethical to build this product if it is not a necessity? So, let's start here by looking at the song that Cat Stevens, Yusuf Islam wrote. And he said, it's called Where Do the Children Play? So it says, well, I think it's fine building jumbo planes or taking a ride on a cosmic train until he says, will you roll on roads over fresh green grass for your lorry loads pumping petrol gas and make them long and you make them tough, but they just go on and it seems you can't get off. So this song basically explains my point of view, or the point of view that says that if it's not a necessity, then it's not ethical to build it. So I'm fine with building jumbo planes, with building buildings, with building stuff, with developing, but is it really ethical to do that if it's not a necessity? So we go here to speaking about tarmac. So asphalt and tarmac and concrete are a big pollution source. So if we can see here, they are petroleum based, which means they are already, just talking about them, they are making pollution. So concrete requires rocks, which means basically explosions to get the rocks, to mining, drilling, etc. And it needs sands, and it needs fabricated cement components to hold the pavement together. So it is crucial for that things to happen to make pavement. So my case here, and obviously they pollute the water, like when floods or rain comes down, and then through the drainage it goes back to rivers, streams, whatever. Those the pavement has some will produce pollution to those streams, will give pollution back to those streams. So what else? Yeah, they generate harmful atmospheric emissions while producing them. So now I'm not saying don't build roads, don't pave roads, don't make roads. This is crucial. It's not something that must happen to ease our lives. I'm not talking about that. But when we come here and look at this slide, for example, this just explains how it affects the environment. But we go to the next slide. So we see, are racetracks a necessity, for instance? So I know that racing, like racing overall, developed the automotive industry in such a way that took us to the next level, took us to the electrical cars, took us to hybrid systems, took us, and the regulations in the racing community. It gave us back. It gave something back to the community. It gave something back. But couldn't we just take that money that went into racing, that big companies put into their racing teams, and put it to research, and just apply them directly to cars and to transportation transportation overall, couldn't we just do that? Because racing tracks, as you can see, this is small one in Bahrain, my hometown, by the way. So this one is small, and it consumed so much resources, and produced so much pollution. So, is it necessity? Is it a necessity? Um, is there another way to do that? Let's see. Um, let's go on. Talking about asphalt, um, we can talk also about the concrete that's used in skyscrapers, for instance. So skyscrapers, Burj Khalifa, if we can talk about that, is 29% unoccupied. So that basically doesn't justify the idea of a skyscraper, which is saving space and building it just higher. So it's 29% unoccupied. So what's the idea behind it? What's the purpose behind it? Is it just showing off? Is it just like a symbol of economic power, or etc.? You know, it just beats the whole idea behind a skyscraper. So again, is it a necessity? Let's go on to the next slide. So same goes for water parks and amusement parks. They consume a month 90,000 liters of water, and I'm talking, this is through evaporating and through cleaning and etc. Because they reuse the water they initially used, and we are not talking now about the first instance water that they used. They used that water, which is a huge amount, and we can all think about the famine that's happening, and the droughts, and we can all think about that and say, is it a necessity now? Is it a necessity? Okay, is there another way, maybe using cleaned water, or water that comes from the sea and put through a cleaning process, and then use it into the amusement parks or water parks? But again, that produces a lot of CO2 emissions. So again, it's not a necessity. Okay, it might be a necessity in a social aspect. So here we come again to weighing the pros and cons, let's say. We go on, before we come to the next slide. Also, amusement parks, people who build, let's say contractors, okay, who build amusement parks, water parks, aquariums that are homes for sharks, let's say, for killer whales. Is that ethical? Now these animals have their place in the nature. Is it ethical to build something for them, to build something that's gonna in the end house animals in such a cruel way, if we might say? So coming to the next slide, and again, it's just for the for social and economical aspects, or pros, let's say. It's not for something crucial. It's not for something that has to be done. It's not even food. It's just for entertainment. So coming to the next slide, making products that feed into the environment harming industries. Now, we talked about racing tracks. Now, not all racing teams are focused on developing technologies, etc., that would eventually benefit the general public. But like for example, diesel trucks racing engines, okay, why they produce so much emissions, so much bad emissions, CO2 emissions that harm the environment. Sorry, the recording got cut off. So the diesel trucks produce so much bad emissions that harm the environment. Talking about things that harmful industries, we can talk about animal feeders and milking machines. Now, milking machines, for example, somebody might say, "What's the problem? Are you vegan?" I'm not talking about vegan here. I'm not talking about you being the vegetarian or whatever. All right. I'm talking here about an industry, the industry of live crops. They produce so much emissions. Okay, they produce so much CO2. Okay, and now we can put our resources and into, like, for example, the new technologies that are planting the meat, for example, planting the meat in laboratories and producing meat. It's a very expensive industry right now, and very expensive meat to get, but it is developing, and one day we might get to that point, and it takes out the it takes out the CO2 emissions we get. So again, automated burger makers, such a great idea. Is it ethically right to do that? Is it ethically right to feed into an industry that is harming the environment? Now, is it necessary here? That's up to you guys. Going into the next, and I end here. So the economical benefits, do they justify? And to which point does economical benefits justify? So now let's say somebody, and here I go a bit, this is something controversial. Let's say a company that produces weapons, okay? In most cases in the world today, those weapons are used to kill innocent people. Does the economical benefits justify that I can produce those weapons and say, yeah, I'm gonna sell them to the government? The government, not getting into politics here, just is the economical benefits justifies the the production of such products, and finally the social benefits. So does the social benefits justify? Does people having to have fun in a water park justifies? It's up to you, and the discussion's up to you guys. Thank you. Salman Galoom, 202645. Thank you.